Ankit was a young man who lived in a small town. One evening, he decided to go to Delhi for some important work. He packed his small bag, locked his house, and walked to the railway station. The night was quiet, and the sound of his footsteps echoed on the empty road. When he reached the station, he heard the long whistle of the train. The sound was sharp, cutting through the silence of the night. A cool wind passed over the platform, and Ankit felt a sudden chill run down his spine. He looked around and saw only a few people waiting in the distance. The platform looked strangely darker than usual. The train arrived with a screeching sound of iron wheels. Ankit stepped into one of the compartments. Inside, the train felt older than it should have been. The paint on the walls was peeling, the lights flickered, and the smell of rust and damp wood filled the air. Only 3 other passengers sat in the dim yellow glow. They were silent, their faces hidden in the shadows. Ankit took a seat near the window. He tried to relax, but something felt wrong. The train moved slowly, making a strange rattling sound as it rolled on the tracks. He looked out of the window, but instead of trees or houses, he only saw endless darkness. After some time, he noticed something unusual. The 3 passengers sitting inside never moved. They did not blink, they did not speak, and they did not even look at him. Their stillness made Ankit's heart beat faster. Suddenly, one of the flickering lights went off. In that brief darkness, Ankit thought he saw one passenger much closer to him than before. When the light returned, the passenger was back in the same place. Cold sweat rolled down Ankit's face. Minutes felt like hours. The train passed through a tunnel, and the compartment turned completely dark. In the darkness, Ankit heard whispers. The voices were soft but clear. "Stay with us. Don't leave." Ankit pressed his hands to his ears, but the whispers grew louder. When the train came out of the tunnel, he saw that the passengers were now staring directly at him. Their eyes were empty, black like deep holes. He quickly stood up and moved towards the door. But when he looked outside, he saw nothing but mist. There were no stations, no villages, no lights, just endless fog. Fear gripped his heart. The train stopped suddenly with a loud jerk. Ankit lost his balance and fell. When he stood up, the passengers were gone. The whole compartment was empty. His bag was missing too. Breathing heavily, Ankit walked to the next compartment. It was filled with broken seats, cobwebs, and torn curtains. It looked as if no one had traveled in it for many years. From the corner of the compartment, he heard the sound of footsteps following him. "Who's there?" he shouted. But no one replied. The footsteps came closer, and then he felt a cold hand touch his shoulder. He turned around quickly, but no one was there. Panicked, Ankit ran back towards the door. Just then, he noticed something terrifying. His train ticket was lying on the floor. When he picked it up, he saw that it was soaked in red stains, as if dipped in blood. His hands trembled. Suddenly, he heard a whisper behind him. "See you on your next ride." Ankit dropped the ticket in fear. He quickly turned around, but there was no one. Instead, he found himself standing back on the railway platform, the same platform where he had boarded the train last night. This time, the platform was full of people, crowded and noisy. The morning sun was shining brightly. Ankit looked at his hands and saw fresh scratches on his arm. His heart started racing. Was it a dream? Or was it real? He whispered to himself. He stood frozen in confusion. Around him, People were busy catching trains, laughing, and talking as if nothing had happened. But deep inside, Ankit knew something was wrong. The sound of the train whistle still echoed in his ears. And as he turned to leave, he saw a shadow on the far end of the platform. It looked like one of the passengers from last night, standing still, staring directly at him. Ankit closed his eyes in fear. When he opened them again, the shadow was gone. But the scratches on his arm remained, burning like fire. Maybe it was a nightmare. Maybe it was real. But one thing was certain. Ankit would never forget the haunted ride of that night. If you liked this scary story, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more thrilling and horror stories. Your support keeps us going. Until next time, be careful when you hear the midnight train whistle.